As kids, we thought our parents were always stingy. This was unhealthy, that was expensive, but we had decent food at home. So here's $2. You can have whatever you want. And you think, when I grow up, I'll buy whatever I want. This is Boop, and he makes real cash. He has his own hip-hop studio where rich daddies bring their rich kids to turn them into global superstars. Boop's making bank, the kids are thrilled, dads are chilling with moms. Life is good. And then, bam, another crisis hits, the 5th one in the last year alone.
What happened?
So, what happened was the parents put their little stars on business jets and shipped them off to school. In the meantime, rental costs soared, tech got pricier, and pop rock was totally back in style. Boop was left high and dry with his debts and a couple of unsuccessful rappers.
It's okay, brothers. We'll manage.
Boop believed he had money. He'd been penny pinching for the past year, crashing in a rented studio on the outskirts, chugging along in an old Ford, and even rocking last year's iPhone. However, when he opened his banking app, he discovered that there was no thin G.
How's that? I didn't buy anything.
Can a couple of Uber rides a week and food delivery on weekends really break the bank? Oh, absolutely they can. All these little expenses are like holes in an inflatable boat, and before you know it, you're happily sinking. If Boop doesn't learn to manage his money, life will crush him. To avoid breaking, you need a goal. The goal can be anything: saving up to start a business, buying a car, moving to another city, whatever. Boop has a clear motivation. He needs to raise money to just plain save his business. Smart, proactive people prepare a budget for a rainy day and stash their cash in a safety net. That way, you'll be ready for any crisis because life is unpredictable. Ideally, a pillow should provide you with 3 to 4 months of living without income, but Boop never thought about any savings. Money, after all, is just tape, and life rushes by, and you have to enjoy it to the fullest. Boop. Growing up isn't just about a love for olives. It's also about smart financial behavior. Here are the key principles for a mindful relationship with money. First principle, keep detailed records of everything in both your personal finances and your business. To start, you must clearly grasp where is your money being spent. Ideally, you should create a table or install an app where you'll log all your expenses. Break them down into categories: how much you spend on food, how much on transport, how much on entertainment, and how much on the most beautiful pens for signing the most lucrative contracts. Track all your purchases. Seriously, every single one. From new branded sneakers to your morning cup of coffee. This way, you can analyze your spending and your business expenses. There's a chance you'll finally understand where you can cut back. And also, track how much you're overspending on quality of life and if it's worth it. 20-ply toilet paper with an Alpine Meadows scent is cool, sure, but man, your ass can manage without it. Second principle, no spontaneous purchases. Do you understand where you can save? Excellent. Now learn to spend only on necessities. This doesn't imply you should wear your clothes until they literally disintegrate on you. Shopping just needs to be planned. Set clear goals and objectives. What exactly are you going to buy? Boop, for example, before his trip to the store, decided he needed 5 new chairs for the studio. Full stop. Nothing else, as if it didn't even exist. The third principle, start saving. Create a dedicated account and put 10 to 15% of all your income into it. Can you contribute more? Oh, you rock. This is your personal stash. Sure, at first it'll be tough to part with that hard-earned cash you could have blown on a fun office party. But once it becomes a habit, you won't even notice the difference, whether that 10% is there or not. Take it to the next level, set this bill to autopay. Then you'll never have to stress about it. It's basically like signing up for another subscription. The fourth principle. Boop Dude is simple. Since childhood, he's been accustomed to keeping his accumulated money in a bag hidden in a smelly sneaker, so his older brother wouldn't find it and take it away. But if you just keep your money in cash or in an account, your savings will decrease over time. Yeah, that's inflation, buddy. So you need to invest your money. The safest way to open savings accounts. There are also many other ways to preserve capital. Buying gold. silver, crypto, real estate, stocks, and you can even invest in startups. In general, study all the options and choose what's comfortable for you. Boop thought it over and realized his option was to partially invest in his studio's advertising and put the rest into a savings account. Fifth principle: start negotiating and learn to bargain. Ask for discounts, discuss terms. Negotiations save thousands of dollars. As they say, boldness is your second fortune. The sixth principle: claim what's yours and utilize tax deductions and credits. This works for those who pay income tax. The essence is simple. You can get back a portion of the money you've already paid to the state, or reduce the amount on which you pay tax at all. Every deduction and credit has its own rules, but if you know and use them, you stop losing money simply because you haven't understood the system. The rich don't always pay less in taxes. They just know the rules of the game better. Everything's awesome for Boop. He's now financially conscious. He was fighting with the money for a special kefir. He convinced the supplier to drop the microphone prices and established a financial cushion. But his studio still failed. Because the hip-hop kids grew up and got into Harvard and all those other business schools. But Boop isn't giving up. He's hustling and putting on underground rap battles. And finally, no man is an island, even if he's a boop or hero. For this video to be seen by others, we need engagement. Leave a comment with your thoughts on this video or what you'd like to see next. Help us break through the information noise and promote the channel.
And, Boop, is that your final answer? I repeat, this is a $1 million question.
Come on. Yes.
And that's the right answer!
Yeah, now. Well, yes, it's a divorce.
All entrepreneurs dream of $1 million. As soon as they become a sole proprietorship, they immediately think, oops, I want $1 million. Why? Well, because there's nothing sadder than a business that doesn't make money and an entrepreneur who's dragging it along. It's strange not to get off a dead horse, but wanting $1 million isn't strange at all. It's actually very beneficial. This is Boop, and he's in deep trouble, as usual. He desperately needs to generate $1 million, and fast. The whole thing is, there's a once-in-a-decade event coming up. No, not spring cleaning. It's the alumni reunion. People he spent 12 years with and whom he already disliked back then will gather in one room. They'll start bragging about their apartments, cars, and the models and sizes of all these goodies. And Boop will need to respond with something, especially since he's already announced his stunning success. He's a soap maker. Boop is a simple entrepreneur. He makes soap and sells soap. And generally, he's all in a lather. He's even forgotten that he started the business to earn money, not to be utterly exhausted. But what to do when all ways to get rich have failed? Trainings, courses, even a vision board is drawn. All for naught. You can't get into the Millionaires Club without soap. Before you earn $1 million in life, you need to earn it in your head. At the very least, on a napkin. Seriously, sit down and write how and on what you'll make $1 million. You have no idea how many cool companies were conceived on napkins and how many startups failed because there wasn't a napkin handy. In short, you need to make a plan. The smart folks call this approach decomposition. Basically, you take a huge goal, like making $1 million, and chop it up into tiny tasks, like set up ads, get some orders, brew some soap, be born rich, deliver the soap. Suddenly, it's way clearer what you gotta do, and it doesn't feel so scary. Boop bought a pack of tissues and sat down to write a plan. First step, if you want to earn $1 million, calculate how many sales you need to make, with what average check, and with what expenses. This way, $1 million will become not an abstract number with zeros, but a clear set of metrics. Boop figured that, on average, he makes a profit of $20 from each soap set. So, he needs to sell 50,000 sets. Okay, And there's also an option to somehow double the profit per set. Then he'd only have to sell 25,000 sets. But customers won't buy for more. And to produce more than 50,000 sets, there won't be enough raw materials. Decision made. We're looking for 50,000 unwashed customers. Now, Boop, you need to go all out but sell these sets. How? He's already not sleeping, not eating, and endlessly making soap. Second step, deconstruct your goal into bite-sized, actionable tasks. This ensures you always have clarity on your next move. For instance, if acquiring more clients is your aim, make it a task to launch a new traffic source and secure orders from it. Sending 5,000 messages to past clients is a clear-cut task. Boop is clueless. That's why he didn't bother to keep a customer database. And these guys could have become regular customers and regularly paid Boop for soap. Boop came up with a hypothesis. What if he created a soap club? Gather those customers who are already familiar with Boop.
The first rule of the soap club is to tell everyone about the soap club. The second rule of to tell everyone about the soup club. The third rule of everyone about the soup club. Mine more often and don't stink.
So, step 3. Start thinking in hypotheses. If something isn't working in your business, ask the crucial question. Instead of asking, why is it like this? Or thinking, of course not. Ask, what if we put a coupon for a repeat purchase with a discount in the package for all new clients? What if we sold wholesale? What if we open a physical store? What if we offer a barter deal to a rapper? These are the hypotheses. There are bread and butter. Most won't pan out, but if just a couple hit and you don't bleed money on all the others, that Miami trip is yours. At the end of the day, the business person who tests more reasonably sane hypotheses and doesn't go insane will come out on top. After the mailing to old clients, Boop was shocked by how unwashed and desperate they were. What to do now with all these orders? Here it is. 1 million is so close, but he can't grab it. So, keep the fourth step in mind. Know your bandwidth. You can plan for anything, even 1 billion in a week. But if your business model can't generate that kind of cash, you might as well throw in the towel now. If you're barely hitting 25 tasks a week, there's no way you'll physically be able to crank out 250. Keep in mind, the brain is a sneaky bastard. It usually says,
Yeah, you can totally do it. Just push a little here, strain a bit there, and everything will be awesome.
it won't be. We need to work more efficiently. Hire an assistant. Expand the team. Learn to calculate your capacity. Plan ahead and compare it with the actual results at the end of the month. That way, you'll identify the gaps and imbalances in your business model. You'll be able to understand exactly what needs to be done to generate the desired million in gold. Earning 1 million is cool. You can even put it in your bio. But it's even cooler to earn 1 million every month and not burn out in the process. 1 million, 2, 3, 10. To do that, you need to change your way of thinking and learn how to break every goal down into subtasks. And you also need a damn napkin from some damn little cafe. Rewatch this video. When you find your goal, write it in the comments. And hit like. Even better, subscribe to the channel so you don't lose it. Bupe absolutely made it. He showed up to the class reunion in a Lamborghini and caught the admiring glance of a classmate who used to not even look his way.
He drove her around nighttime New York and then had to shell out money for a full interior cleaning because his former classmates still hadn't learned how to drink.
Your whole life is a discipline. School, college, relationships. And at some point, you get so fed up with it all that you decide to start your own business to never depend on anyone or anything. So you open a souvenir shop on the highway. You know, burgers, cowboy hats, flags, mini statues of liberty. And one day, Boop got an awesome business offer. The Chinese were interested in your product.
Some Chinese buyers have shown interest in your product. They'll be coming in about a month. We'll need to sort things out with them. You in, bro?
Of course, I'm in.
Now we need to negotiate with the Chinese, but there are some nuances. Boop tackled his studies with tiger-like resolve. He crammed 100 words on day 1, 200 on day 2, but by the end of the week, he was losing steam. Initially, it was always something. The weather wasn't cooperating, or his pals invited him out for a drink. Boop got bogged down in procrastination. He loathed himself, but just couldn't get himself to do anything. And when the moment came to welcome foreign guests, he whipped up a presentation, wrote a couple of lines, and decided it would be good enough. Next up, American jokes. It was a disaster. The Chinese left, but promised to return in a year, and the problem hasn't gone anywhere. How do you discipline yourself when you've already graduated from kindergarten? How do you not give up halfway? And how do you instill this damn discipline in yourself? Boop decided he needed to start a new life, starting January 1st, just like he had over 30 times before. He watched a ton of motivational videos and got pumped up, but it only lasted for 2 minutes. Remember, discipline isn't the same as motivation. It's better. Motivation is an emotional charge that hypes you up for a couple of weeks. Your body runs on pure euphoria. You forget to sleep and eat, but that state passes just as suddenly as it begins. Discipline, on the other hand, is about a lifestyle and the ability to see things through. It works for the long term. As my grandfather used to say,
Motivation is a magic pendulum, and discipline is a filigree pendulum placed on the path.
the first step is to prepare yourself mentally. Boop desperately needs to learn Chinese, but he thinks he lacks willpower. It's easy to justify laziness this way, but here's the thing. Willpower doesn't exist. There are only decisions made. You need to firmly decide that you need this, to give yourself, so to speak, your word as a man. But all this nonsense was clear even before, and the approach was wrong. That's why the boob couldn't achieve anything. Here are the main reasons why you can't stick to discipline. First off, you're taking on too much. Don't set too many different goals for yourself. Sure, there are super productive people who wake up at 6, work on a bunch of different projects, play the violin, and learn Chinese. Well, just know this. They're either not telling you the whole story, or they have a neurosis. But it's important to understand that everyone's discipline is different. Work at your own pace. The second reason? You're expecting quick results. Well, that's not going to happen. Get used to it. But after 6 months of consistent work, you won't even recognize yourself. As they say, bad now, good later. Third reason. You talk too much. Boop made a fatal mistake. He shared his plans in vivid detail, and that was his undoing. Literally, the moment you share something with someone, or imagine a narrow-faced dude interviewing a rich and successful you, your psyche thinks you've already accomplished it. Don't do that. Boop stopped blabbering, abandoned his insurmountable goals, and prepared to play the long game. Now comes the hardest part. Step 2. Get your ass up and start. Fear of the new. This is the oldest instinct of Homo workerus. You need to fight it and slowly but surely get things done. Start with small victories. At least start lying in the direction of your goal. Gradually, this will become a habit. Here are some life hacks to make it easier to discipline yourself. First, break down a big goal into smaller sub-goals. Let's say you have a big task for the month. Break it down by weeks, and then even smaller by days. If you have a clear action plan with strict deadlines, your chances of messing up will be significantly lower. Second, determine the reward for the completed piece of work. It doesn't matter if you wrote one paragraph in Chinese or read all of Confucius's thoughts in the original. The reward should be commensurate with what was accomplished. You should have a reflex like a dog. Do something useful, get a treat. Third, get less distracted. Limit the time you spend on social media, YouTube, and just mindlessly scrolling. The Instagram feed is endless, and you don't even realize how much time you're already swiping. But if you, say, set an alarm, You can control this process. Step 3. Don't stop. To maintain discipline, you need to want it. Fall in love with the process. Enjoy it. If you're constantly suffering, you won't last long. The hardest part is when you've already reached your goal and, with a sense of accomplishment, allow yourself to rest. This rest can drag on, and you'll gradually start neglecting your discipline. Forming good habits is much harder than destructive ones. A new goal will help keep you on track and prevent you from slacking off. America. The year is 2126. People are implanting neural chips directly from Apple and Neuralink and synthesizing organs on home printers from Tesla. The Ford F-150 finally got a hyperdrive and an autopilot that argues with you about politics. George Washington has been cloned, and he's running for president again, this time as an independent candidate with a podcast. And Boop still couldn't give his presentation in Chinese. Sebastopol 2026. This is Boop. He's gone to a showdown. He wants to save his kiosk from being absorbed by a large chain.
If you're a man, come here. And if you're a bear, stay put. Boop? Alex! Is that you?
Guys, break it up. These are our people.
In some fuzzy year, a not yet so fuzzy Bup, along with Alex, opened this notorious kiosk. And quite quickly, Bup lost his mind from the influx of money. He started spending his time on parties, chilling by the pool and fancy cars. Meanwhile, Alex was working his butt off. Later, he realized that Bup wasn't going to grow, so he decided to move on. He shook things up in the capital and began his kiosk expansion across the country. Bup, on the other hand, continued to live as he had, not developing and not increasing his capital.
Lech, how do you become as rich as you are?
Being rich means thinking and living rich.
Wow! Is it real?
Boop's problem was that he never learned to take responsibility for his decisions. It was always the employees messing up, or his partner being a shady swindler, or Putin unscrewing a light bulb at the kiosk. It was always someone else's fault, never his. First habit: take responsibility for your decisions. Rich people live with the mindset that their lives are in their own hands. Poor people are convinced that anyone but themselves is to blame for their problems. Of course, you can be angry at the whole world for making you live in a studio apartment with a combined bathroom and lie on the couch for days. But you will only grow up when it finally dawns on you that you haven't escaped from there solely because of your own self.
Listen, buddy, stop doom watching. Invest in yourself.
Your life is your responsibility, and the worst thing you can do is outsource it.
God help me! Fuck you.
Well, thanks for that.
Second habit: perceive money as a resource. Boop finally decided to change something, and he started with an iPhone. He bought himself a brand new, latest model smartphone, of course, on credit. But suddenly, his fridge at the stall broke down, and to fix it, Boop spent his last coins and borrowed a little more. And, as usual, he had nothing to pay the credit with. Rich people spend money consciously, poor people impulsively. Start looking at money as a resource. Before you spend, you need to realize all the risks and consequences that the purchase will lead to, not through the wrong door. Do you really need to show off your iPhone right now? Do you have a financial cushion? And if everything goes south, what money will you use to solve problems?
Credit is not free money. it is stealing from your future self. Remember,
Behind every penny spent, there should be a clear and even cynical logic that allows you to soberly assess all the results of the investment. Spend wisely, spend profitably, treat money pragmatically and cynically. The third habit, say no and stick to your principles. Poor people can't refuse. Notice how every small task exploits your brain, time, energy, money, and burdens you with new obligations. Rich people make decisions based on their goals. We're not on the same path. Sorry, dude, another time. Of course, this doesn't mean that the rich always step on others, have no empathy, and neglect their friends. It simply means they prioritize themselves and their healthy needs, remember their personal boundaries, and know how to assert them. Fourth habit, don't seek immediate rewards. Boop started weekend construction to pay for his iPhone, yet after clearing the debt, he inexplicably continued to on extra work and wear himself down.
Well, money is never superfluous.
That's the logic of the poor. Everything there is predictable. You work an extra hour, you get an extra penny. The rich think bigger. They have a global goal and they're working towards it. And often, to achieve that very goal, you need to free up resources and take a slight dip in immediate income. The rich are ready for this. They know they'll get more in the long run. Fifth habit, don't just network. Socialize with people and build connections. Wealthy people have a ton of contacts in their phone book. No, that's not quite right. Wealthy people have a ton of contacts in their phone book. And they understand that the value of such a database is priceless. People who know you, who trust you, these are your lifeline and opportunities. Don't neglect networking. First, you work for your address book, and then it works for you. Habit 6. Get out of your comfort zone. Boop followed all the habits, and everything was beautiful, orderly, pancake perfect, and noble. But expanding was still scary. It was an unknown location, different customers, and new inspectors. Poor people are afraid to step outside their comfort zone. Rich people, on the other hand, are used to taking calculated risks and experimenting. Learn to break out of your bubble and be open to challenging experiences. Only then will you develop an understanding of what to do next and acquire a good gut feeling. More experience, better intuition. No magic involved. This time, Boop didn't screw up. He really remembered all the principles of a rich man, started earning great money, and developing his business. He even opened a couple of new locations and started hanging out with Alex as an equal. And then some mega rich dude with his huge stalls came to town. He wiped the floor with Boop and Alex and didn't even choke. That's when Boop understood that no matter how rich you are, there will always be someone cooler.
Subscribe to the channel and like it.
A reunion is when best friends get back together. They recall their happiest years, laugh, and are genuinely happy to finally see each other. No way. A reunion is a vanity fair where adults come to check out who's gotten rich and fat and are terrified of looking like failures. "15 years after graduation, Boop attended one of these reunions. Natalia is a natural genius. Caution, doors are closing. Victor is a crammer and an excellent student. Go fuck yourself. Nike is a C student, sees no point in cramming. Yuri is dumb, barely showed up at school. Boop rented a Porsche to look more respectable. It is sometimes said that C students are more successful than excellent students. Is this really true? We think we have something to learn from both. In school, everyone is usually graded by the same system. You did your homework neatly, learned the definition of tangent, and can distinguish mitosis from meiosis. Here's a 5. You did all the calculations in your head. You get a C, my friend. You should have shown your work step by step. The only problem is, this system doesn't work in real life, and good grades in school are absolutely no guarantee of success. And C's are not a death sentence. Someone who was considered a slacker can become much more successful than their straight-A classmates. All the C's are usually predicted to die as homeless people at Kursky Station. I won't die in the toilet. Straight-A students get into good universities, get jobs, and have a successful, bright future. Sometimes that's exactly what happens. For example, Boop's classmate, the brilliant straight-A student Natalia, graduated from the Faculty of Applied Mathematics and founded a phenomenally successful IT company. Yuri, on the other hand, remained the slacker he always was. But it's not entirely about grades, as they often assess not skills and abilities, but the knack for fitting into the system. Some straight-A students are not intelligent, but obedient people. They are easier to manage and manipulate by playing on their sense of responsibility. But this doesn't mean that top students are doomed to failure. Their knowledge, diligence, systematic thinking, and concentration skills are enviable. They help build careers. However, decisive and resourceful students who get average grades often prove more successful because they are not afraid to take risks. They possess the skill of working with uncertainty. They know how to solve problems unconventionally. What really sets you up for success isn't your report card, but how you handled problems and worked through tough situations. Today, we're going to talk about those everyday C students and the straight-A ones. Victor and Nike began on equal footing. The same yard, the same games and pastimes. But Victor was pushed into his studies, and he dedicated all his school years to textbooks. Now, though, he's not just anyone. He's a senior manager for engaging mid-level VIP clients. But Nike, he dropped to C's, yet kept drawing. He blew off class because that infusorian would go to hell with her little shoes. And in the end, Nike started his own business and earns several times more than Victor. But why? What principles helped a C student become more successful than a straight-A student? First principle: do it and don't be afraid. While the straight-A student is thinking, the C student is already doing. For the straight-A student, Victor, it's often hard to start. He's scared. He doesn't know how to approach a new task, especially if it's a challenging one. With a star, it's tough. Victor is a perfectionist and an anxious person. The fear of making a mistake literally paralyzes him. But the C student, Nike, says, whatever, we'll figure it out as we go, and starts doing. The time Victor spends on thinking, Nike spends on trying. Of course, it doesn't always work out, but it strengthens tolerance for mistakes and risks. In business, a C student has an easier time releasing an MVP, a minimum viable product, to the market and testing demand. However, a top student might fall prey to their own perfectionism, endlessly refining the product, but never actually launching it. Second principle: talk it out and self-develop. Top students are more intellectually developed and knowledgeable, but there are not only school rules, but also life's laws. Oof. And emotional intelligence is very important there. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and manage your own and others' emotions, and it's responsible for personal and social skills. C students often have better developed soft skills. While Victor is on the right track, the Nike-wearing C student is looking for shortcuts, negotiating with the top student to copy their work, or trying to sweet-talk the professor. Basically, they're honing their communication skills and learning empathy. Third principle: learn to work in a team and delegate. C students know how to work in a team, while A students are used to doing everything themselves. We all know those crammers who don't share their homework. Such stingy people. They feel resentful. They spent hours on it, and someone just wants to take it and copy. A C student, like Nike, if they take on a project, will assemble a team and delegate tasks. They are not afraid to admit what they don't know or can't do. It's easier for them to find someone with the expertise. This is crucial in any leadership position, both in entrepreneurship and employment. Fourth principle, develop critical thinking. Nike once wrote in an essay that the curtains were just blue and symbolized nothing. However, the top student, Victor, had read the textbook and knew that the author's deep sadness was to blame for everything. True, he didn't know why this was the case. Nike got a C and Victor got an A. Success in school is about following the rules from textbooks.
But the textbook of life has not yet been written. So critical thinking is very necessary in the real world.
Critical thinking is the skill of analyzing information from different perspectives, where even the familiar is questioned. As a result, you can look at a situation from another angle, form an objective opinion, and find the best solution. In short, while Victor is saying need to, Nike asks, why?
Your problem is, Vitalik, that you've lived your whole life thinking that there are rules, but there aren't any.